Happy New Year. I'm your president, Kavalhuna. This is my first video of 2022. As part of our ongoing holiday series, I'm happy to share with you a bit about our community's celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day during the week of January 17. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister and an American civil rights leader who became internationally known in the 1950s and the 1960s for his work to eliminate racial discrimination and promote social and political justice. He played a critical role in ending the segregation of black citizens in the United States. He influenced the creation of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. Civil rights work in the 1960s was sometimes dangerous. There were many threats on Dr. King's life. On April 4th, 1968, Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. Because of the broad impact of his work, Dr. King's birthday was eventually designated a national holiday. The first Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which we sometimes call MLK Day, was celebrated in January 1986. This holiday is always on the third Monday in January. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is the only federal holiday that honors a private American citizen. We are fortunate to have a direct connection to Dr. King's life right here in Dearborn. It started in 1955 when a quiet seamstress stepped onto a city bus in Montgomery, Alabama. After a long day of work, that seamstress, Rosa Parks, made a courageous stand that changed the nation. Dr. King was inspired by her actions. The very bus where she made her famous stand for justice is permanently displayed at the Henry Ford Museum about 4 miles from our campus. In 1996, Congress authorized Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, to establish a memorial to him in Washington, D.C. This large stone monument and memorial park is part of the National Mall. It is inscribed with Dr. King's quote, "Out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope." Dr. King preached peaceful but relentless action to create a free, just society. Millions of people, including me, have been inspired by Dr. King to change the way we see the world. Part of my responsibility is to use my position and influence to help make the world better for others by providing access and opportunity for our students and our community. Dr. King said, "The arc of the moral universe bends towards justice. We are working to bend it in our community." For our Henry Ford College, this holiday is also a day of community service and action to continue working toward a just and equitable society. You will find information on our website about the day of service on Monday and the Peace Walk on Thursday. Our purpose of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day cannot be limited to one day of the year. The work toward equity and social justice is just too important. Our college has undertaken intensive work on improving our culture so that respect for others, including those we have different views from, is among our highest values. We must recognize every person as fully worthy of dignity. We must create a culture where equity and inclusion strengthen all of us. I encourage you to engage meaningfully in this work and to share your voice. We still have a lot of work to do to achieve equity for all of us. I know there is and always will be true challenges and setbacks along the way, but I remain convinced that a culture of honesty and understanding will make room for all of us to show and to celebrate the differences that make us a diverse community where we all belong. The world needs you, and it needs all of us. We can be the role models who light a new path for tomorrow's leaders. We can use education for a greater good. Dr. King wrote to his fiancée, Coretta Scott, in 1952 that he would, quote, hope, work, and pray that in the future we will live to see a warless world, a better distribution of wealth, and a brotherhood that transcends race or color. I hold this same hope today. 7 decades later, I encourage you to find and embrace your hope and embrace the resolve that turns your hope into action. I wish you a safe and meaningful celebration of this glorious holiday.